Very good evening. In my last class, I have taken up contemporary issues and explained you the meaning of hazards, natural hazards, environmental hazards, and environmental crisis, calamities, disaster, and the catastrophe. In paper 2, let me remind you again that this class and this batch, this is my eye protector, this class and this batch was started few months back, and we have reopened the admissions, and we have opened the admissions for the new students because we are in the second half of geography, and the second half is human and economic geography. However, for a few days, say for 5-6 days, we will have discussion on contemporary issues, and these topics are very plain, straight, simple. There is no great science involved here. So anyone with common sense can always learn these topics, and I strongly believe that even the new entrants in the class, even the new students in the class will have no issues whatsoever. Why it is not working? It's not working. The board is not working. I don't know why. Tip. Something has gone wrong with the board. Give me some time, some fraction of, क्या बोलूँ मैं? Again troubled. Wait for a while. Will take few minutes. थोड़ा wait कर लो. And you will be learning today earthquake as a contemporary issue. So in geomorphology, earthquake will be related to plate tectonics and other mechanisms, processes, geological processes which generates the earthquake and the distribution of the earthquake across the world. But here in Indian geography, we are concerned with the zoning of the seismic areas or seismicity prone areas. Let me try again whether it is working or not. And today's class will be solely determined by the fact Pratik Gupta is writing, good evening sir, joining you live after 1.5 months. Actually my whole family got corona positive and I lost my grandparents due to it. Oh my god, Pratik, क्या बोलूं मैं? I have also lost one or two very dear people, very close people. Good evening, Prachi Sharma. ICC Group Nawada, thank you so much. Sandeep Chauhan, thank you. Good evening, Shiv Shankar. Ritesh Shukla, hi. Prachi Sharma, Sonali Prasad, Swati Yadav, my regular students. Oh, today also it is open on YouTube channel. Chalo, okay. My officials and my staffs, they feel. Amit Sharma is writing, so sorry for Pratik. Vinit Pandey, good evening. Sehwag Guruji, Ram Ram. Rohit Mehta, good evening. Ritesh Shukla, hi sir. Chalo, I mean, the real challenge today is the notepad. I think it will be functional now. Oh yes, it is working. Contemporary issues. We'll talk about answer writing today. I promised to my old batch also and the new people joining today. Answer writing is based on your understanding of the question. You have to read the demand of the question and then write. Try to hit the snake head. Don't beat around the bush. There is the key, there is the formula for scoring very high marks. Your language has to be emphatic. Your language has to be geographical. There is one criteria. Second, you have to draw sufficient number of diagrams and maps, because geography is a subject which deals with the graphics, geographics, the graphical presentation of the earth. And one of the best definition of geography is the art of map making. So map making, if you are a geographer, you have to be a map maker. You have to be a cartographer at the same time. So even UPSC demands or answer writing demands, whether you are appearing for BPSC or any PCS examination, the geography teachers will demand, geography questions themselves will demand the presentation of graph and maps and flow charts and tables and some case studies and facts. So be prepared on facts and case studies along with the diagram presentation and map presentation, etc. These are the key. So the first criteria of scoring very high marks, simply stated, koi josh mein nahi, you have to write in emphatic language. Now the meaning of emphatic language is that you have to write not bookish type, not really bookish type, but you have to write the language of geography, the vocabulary which geographers generally use or accustomed to. So say I am a geographer, so I will talk about the surface of the ground is, instead of that we call it the landscape of, the terrain of, so landscape, terrain, phenomena, these are the geographical terms which you must use when you write. Taking just one or two examples. Second, I said presentation through graph, and today I will demonstrate with one good model answer. You will be writing today in the class. Yesterday you had complaints that whether you don't dictate or what. I do dictate wherever it is required. The entire syllabus becomes an answer writing class for me, not one or two answer writing classes. So whatever I am teaching is an answer writing class. Now, the third criteria is the related facts, the true facts of geography, and the reference book should be the genuine books, the books which are found in JNU libraries or the D School library or maybe Banaras Hindu University, the prime books which are referred by the professors themselves. Because you need to understand that whenever a question is generated, created, it is created from the foreign author's book. Now I cannot give you reference of 10 foreign authors' book, but my study material, they have very good compilation. They are very good compilation taken mostly. They are the excerpts taken from the high class books, foreign author books. In some of the patches wherever I felt have been taken from your even Savinder Singh and other books which are available in the market. So first criteria is what? Your language, handwriting. Second criteria is the graphical presentation. And third criteria for scoring very high marks will be understanding the question and meeting the demand of the question and presenting the right kind of fact, right kind of facts. Say you are writing on plate tectonic theory, or say you are writing on earthquake. Now in earthquake, you have to write on the geological survey, a geological map of India. So you have to learn the correct facts. Now if geological survey of India is saying that India is divided into 4 zones, you are no one to divide India into 5 zones. You are getting my point. say if the flood commission has given the classification of flood in India into 4 types, you have to write 4 types. You cannot write 5 types. You should not write 5 types. You should not try to create classifications of your own. If agroclimatic regions are 15, then it is 15. If agroecological regions are 20, it is 20. This is how it is in geography. If in industrial location theory, there are 5 factors which determine the industries and their location, there are only 5 factors. So geography will be largely static. So please understand, we are going to learn today, earthquake as in contemporary issue, meaning earthquake as in hazard, earthquake as a disaster. Say this is the topic of the day. Now my reference will be the map which was presented by the Geological Survey of India, the Wadia Institute of Dehradun, how they have classified the seismicity prone areas in India, what they have, how their research work, what their research work is showing. The research work is showing that India is divided into 5 zones, so it is 5 zones. And if they have categorized that zone 5 is equivalent to Richter scale 8, we have to write Richter scale 8. We cannot create 8.5. समझ में आ रहा है ना? So that is where the magic lies in mains and scoring in mains. So you have to be honest and truthful to the facts of geography. Geography is not sociology. Geography is not public administration. Geography is more or less like a science. And geography will have lots of researches, and say you have NMDA department suggesting 5 measures for controlling the havoc of earthquake. So you have to write on the National Disaster Management reports, their suggestions. NDMA का suggestion लेंगे हम लोग. What we try to do, we student community and we teachers also we try to do, instead of going through the governmental official reports like Flood Commission report or the Water Commission report or the Niti Aayog report or the any Planning Commission report, we don't look into it. We try to churn up our own, own mental faculty and try to create geography. We call it brainstorming. So through brainstorming, we can create points. I do agree, we can create points. But those points will not match with the model answers which are presented by the UPSC. The professors are going to take reference of the authentic materials. Now this is true for general studies also. So today's open class will help my students who are already with me and the new students who have joined yesterday, that why I am talking about the authentic materials, because when you write, you are being represented by your writing, and what you write determines your fate, and what you write must be in consonance with the model answers, in harmony with the model answers which are with UPSC teachers. And the model answers which are prepared, they're all authentic materials. They don't come from brainstorming. And I'm telling you very honestly that these professors who fix your fate, who fix marks on your writing, these professors all will have a key or a model answer with them, and they go through that model answer 3, 4, 5 times. Then they start correcting your or marking your answers on the basis of the model answer. This is done to maintain the uniformity of marking. There has to be some measure to bring uniformity for equalization or harmonization in the marking pattern. I can give you one example. Say there are 20 professors each of them are having 100 copies. All geography professors, all are having 100 copies each. Now they have 15 days to give it to the head examiner in UPSC. Now all the 20 professors will be given model answers, and they will go through the model answers. This is the question, and this is the demand of the question, and these are the the answer, the response to the question. And then when they mark your writing, when they judge you, they are judging you through some arithmetical configurations, putting 0 or putting 2 or 3. They are keeping in their mind that this question deserves these facts. I hope you understood this. These are some of the important issues with the students and the teachers and the coaching institutes as well. Coaching institute teachers, they become prophetic sometime, and they try to profess their ideas and try to build up new concepts and try to theorize so many, I don't know, idiotic things several times, feeling that they are the researchers, but they are not. So they can lead you astray. You can be misled by many of the coaching materials and many of the coaching teachers also, tutors also. So please be aware. I'm inviting you to compare what you learn in my class with the most authentic works. I really invite you to do that. And I will be so proud of you if you are able to bring out certain fallacies, certain defective, some errors, some erroneous writing. I'll be so proud of you. Arey sir, aapne to galat likhwa diya. I'll be so proud of you if you can point out such things. My notes will not be in contradiction with the government of India's papers and officials and the seminars which are happening these days. So I'm repeating again, and very peacefully learn. A, your handwriting matters. B, your English language, your presentation. I said emphatic language, impressive language. That is very important. Scientific language in geography, it works. Then third, graphical presentation. Presentation of geographical facts through graph, through maps, through flowchart, diagrams, whatever is demanded in the question, you can act accordingly. Then third criteria is the true facts, the true references, the true material, the authentic materials taken from the, as I said, some government of India papers or some good seminar papers, or material taken from great authors. Like I remember there was a question on pseudo-volcanism. Now this pseudo-volcanism question came and everybody was puzzled. Classification of meander came and comparison between incised and entrenched meander came in the examination. Everyone was puzzled. But all these answers are there. Biological desert came. Everyone was again puzzled. Kahan se pooch raha hai? But all these questions in geography were actually asked from Penguin Dictionary. Take recourse to a dictionary, a good dictionary like Penguin Dictionary. It works. Learn the the most terminologies which are there. Instead of concepts, some of the terminologies which are there, you must learn them. Try to learn them. Learn from Rupa Made Simple. They have some highlighted keywords in every paragraph. So from those keywords, like biological desert was asked from there itself. So some keywords, you pick the keywords and try to elaborate, work on them. You will get questions. And that pseudo-volcanism was asked from Thornbury's book on geomorphology. So when the question comes, we do reverse engineering. We try to go back to the reference book. And whenever I do it, I find that it was asked from Thornbury or from Woolridge or Morgan or from a Stroller or from Rupa Made Simple So I have a very strong reason to believe that most of the questions are generated from the foreign author books. Now you have no access to the foreign author books, but trust me, what I do in my class is mostly based on their great works, and I never took any delight in reading any Indian author, not even Savinder Singh, which is so popular. I salute that man for his great work. But that kind of English and that kind of framing of geography without analysis, without discussing the causative mechanisms, for me it becomes very difficult to read such books. Those books are very factual, structured, very good chapterization, but there is no explanation anywhere. Like we have learned geomorphology, and I gave you the theory of Bowen's reaction series, no, if you remember. So how easily you learn that why the oceanic crust is basaltic, or why the ridges are made of basalt, and why the continental masses are made of granite and andesite or rhyolites. So the causative mechanisms also has to be learned for learning geography and for becoming a good student of, decent student of geography. All right. So today I'm talking about the answer writing, and deliberately so, because the one who joined today and those who are from, from last 2-3 months with me. So 4 criteria: authentic material, and then one last thing which I would like to add. Whenever you write, every question can be connected with some current knowledge. But for that you have to regularly read Down to Earth magazine or Yojana, or even Geography and You magazine, sometimes Science Reporter. I'm not demanding you to read all these magazines on every month basis. No, just take Science Reporter, turn the pages. There could be 1 or 2 articles from which are related to your syllabus, just 1 or 2. The rest is all boorish, not useful for you. Okay, let's leave them. Or maybe in a month you will find no article worthy of reading for a geographer. It happens. But when you take in consideration the 12 months issues, then you will find that, oh, there are some 10 articles important. So Science Reporter will give you some 5 to 10 articles. Geography and You will give you some 15-20 articles. Yojana will give you some 15 articles for you. So you will have a collection of, Down to Earth will give you some 20 articles related to geography and environment. So you will have a collection of around, say, 50 articles or 70 articles in a year. And when you have these articles with you, instead of looking for fragmented materials or processed materials which are published by coaching institutes like whatever, Vision I have heard, and some .coms are there. So they are doing what they are doing. They are doing processing of the material, and I don't know what they do. But why not read the original material? So maybe from these 5 magazines you can, or maybe Hindu newspaper, the Sunday edition. So you can have a collection of these articles, and then you can select out 50, 60 of them in a year. And I'm promising you that from those 50 to 60 articles, you will get 3 to 4 questions, even in GS and even in geography optional. Mostly the questions which are asked in paper 2 will be related with the current affairs. 60% will be traditional and 40% will be, or maybe the same question will be a compound question. Compound question meaning the half question will be traditional and half of it will be contemporary. So you have to deal with paper 2. Paper 2 is very, very scoring, I am telling you. And it becomes very scoring when you bring in the concepts of paper 1 into paper 2 and add some case studies and some tables and facts here. Write in a emphatic language, then you will score. Of course, diagrams and all. But in paper 2, you need to connect your answers with the current affairs. What do you call current affair? I name it contemporary issues. So, say there is a question on a smart city. There is a question on the aluminium industry or cement industry, for that matter. There is a question on the flood and the measures to control flood in India. So all these questions have some relevancy. And when I say contemporary issues, you have to take care of the last 2 to 3 years events, last 2 to 3 year events for geography, not for GS. You have to be really aware of what all have happened in the field of geopolitics, city planning, regional development planning, demography, population policy, agricultural policy, industrial policy, whatever, trade policies. So whatever forest policies, all these policies you have to learn for paper 2, preparing paper 2. Then you can write actually a brilliant answer, and you can score even more than 150, 160, 170, 175, 180 in paper 2. It has come to, such scores are very common, I am telling you, very, very common. People are scoring in paper 2, but not scoring in paper 1. But this batch, for you people, the way we have done the entire physical geography, I really hope that you will be able to cope up with all the questions, and you will be able to score much, much higher marks than the trend has been in last 3-4 years. It's such an irony that somebody told me that, sir, you stopped teaching in Karol Bagh. I said, yes, I stopped teaching in Karol Bagh. I was primarily an English medium teacher, and I will have 4 to 5 huge batches in Karol Bagh. My institute is still there, but because of my personal reasons, I stopped teaching in 2015. So now people have forgotten me in Karol Bagh area. People have forgotten me even in most of the southern India, it seems, because this profession is all about, mouth to mouth public, advertisement, mouth to mouth conveyance of the fact that, oh, Alok Ranjan ko join karo, he is a good teacher. Now some people, my own staffs are saying that people believe that you only teach in Hindi medium. I was shocked. Mostly I was, kya karoon, but whatever. So this was about answer writing. Now coming to the topic of the day. I hope you will be grossly benefited from this 15 minutes endeavor on my part, and thank you for listening to me. शुरू करते हैं, earthquake लेते हैं. So in the contemporary issues, we have the first topic. I'm starting with earthquake. So starting with earthquake. Now the structure of the topic. So how the structure will be? Introduction, definition, then zoning of the seismicity, seismic regions, then horizontal seismic coefficient, isoline, to present the horizontal seismic coefficient isoline, to present the earthquake prone areas in India. Then the major fault line, study of the major fault lines, the fault line map of India. Then you will have a study of the seismic zone. Seismic zone. Earthquake prone areas, seismic zone, अलग चीज है. Then you have another seismic gaps of India. Seismic gaps. Concept of seismic gaps and their occurrences in India, something like that. Then you will have prediction of the earthquake. So if there is any question, or maybe the devastating effect of earthquake, the effects of earthquake, then you will have the preventive measures, the corrective measures, the preventive measures and the corrective measures. So this becomes part of disaster management, DM, disaster management. इसको ऐड कर देंगे तो यही disaster management हो गया. In paper 2 disaster management, paper 3 में है ना, हाँ paper 3 in your general studies will be taken care of with my contemporary issues. Okay. चलो लिखते हैं इंट्रोडक्शन को. अर्थक्वेक. Idea is to give you a model answer. Idea is to give you an idea how to write a world-class answer. लिखो, be at peace and then write. लिखो, earthquake is flow of energy in the form of wave motion generated by the sudden release of Earth's internal energy which is converted into kinetic motion. लिखो, earthquake waves which originate from the focus, are P and S. I have already talked about it. What is P wave? What is S wave? Are P and S. And today's topic is not about waves. It is about earthquake as a hazard. So the waves which are produced, which are generated, which originate from the focus are P and S waves. While from the epicenter, keep writing, while from the epicenter Rayleigh waves and love waves, Rayleigh waves and love waves, or the surface waves, are produced. Surface waves are produced. Likho, these surface waves or the L waves, these surface waves or the L waves have orbital oscillatory motion. Orbital oscillatory motion. Orbital oscillatory motion, which generate crest and fall. लिखते रहो, crest and fall, disrupting and dislocating the Earth's crustal rocks, deforming them, sometimes rupturing them, sometimes if the earthquake is stronger, then pulverizing them. So rupturing, pulverizing, shattering the crustal rocks. Obligo. Crustal rocks, causing havoc at a place and destroying structures causing damages to the humanizing landscapes and the inhabited areas since earthquakes are shock waves or catastrophic waves, sudden waves, shock waves and catastrophic waves. Causing damage to life and property. It is categorized as a natural hazard. And when it strikes, a population size, it becomes disaster. Now just think of these two paragraphs or whatever lines you did so far. Just think of it. Just read them. The whole orientation is declaring earthquake as a hazard. If you look at the writing, the orientation of the writing, the meaning of the writing, by far, I am trying to bring in all the aspects of damages and catastrophe and hazard and calamity, right? So answer writing in paper 1 geomorphology. You can see my notes on earthquake in geomorphology. That belonged to geology. Now this kind of writing belongs to contemporary issues, right? And even though I have incorporated the scientific terms also, the naming the earthquake waves, and so it's scientific and it's totally connected with the orientation of the topic. All right, now write likho the Geological Survey of India has used horizontal seismic coefficient isoline for the demarcation of the seismicity prone areas or the seismic zone because if the value of the index is more than 0.08 there is a possibility of maximum damage, and if the index value is, keep writing, and if the index value is 0.02 or 0.01, such regions are geologically stable. And bereft of major earthquakes. Okay, now draw one map of India and let's present the isoline coefficient, seismic isolines. So this is our ये मान लो I'm using different color. So this is your 0.08. This is also 0.08. Here also you have 0.08. This is 0.08. And surrounding 0.08 you will have 0.06. 0.06. Similarly, 0.06. 0.06. And here also you have 0.06. Meaning let's create a chart. Zone 5 coefficient value for zone 5. I am producing here more facts. Richter scale, Mercalli scale. Okay, so zone 5 is 0.08 or more. That's zone 5. Richter scale will be 8 or more. Mercalli scale is 9. Richter scale में what we do? Magnitude of the earthquake, and Mercalli scale is about intensity of the earthquake. Intensity meaning the degree of damage, the degree of devastation. The degree of devastation, that's Mercalli scale. Magnitude meaning the quantum of energy released in an earthquake. So this is your zone 5. Maximum damage will be in zone 5, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pockets here, and there is one here also, 0.08, and there is 0.06. Another pocket is Kutch, and then here you have 0.08 and 0.06. This is your Andaman and Nicobar area. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 pockets in India which have zone 5. The maximum damage will be done in the Kashmir Valley, in the Kinnaur Kumayu region, in Darbhanga Fault, North Bihar, and this is Assam and Purvanchal Hills, Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So learn properly. Draw this diagram. Draw this map. Now we have zone 4. We have zone 4 here. Mercalli scale, 1 down, it will be 8. Again 7 to 8. And here it will be 0.06 to 0.08, 0.05, not 6, 0.05 to 0.08. Now here I am drawing one 0.05 line, and I must use different colors now for your better understanding. So if I draw these dots, so all these dotted areas are our zone 4. Zone 4 is nothing but the surrounding area of the seismic zone with maximum intensity. So this is your zone 4. Zone 5, zone 4. Zone 4 क्या है? The entire Gangetic Plain, the Jammu Hills, the Trans-Himalayan region, maybe the Assam Plains, the North Bengal and the Delta region, these all will come under zone 4. 0.05 is a very important line. Then you have zone 3. Now coming to zone 3, so this will be 0.03 to 0.05. Then zone 2 and zone 1. Now these two have been clubbed into one. So this is A, B, C, D. Zone 2 and 1 has been clubbed into, but I will differentiate. It needs differentiation. So this is like 0.01 to 0.03, and this is less than 0.01. Here you will have 6 to 7, 5 to 6, 4 to 5. On Richter scale, this is 8. So this is 7, 6, and 5. Mercalli scale 5. Zone 2 and 1 are safe, very extremely safe. Now let's work on zone 1 and 2. Check out here. Acha, you were busy doing this. लिख लो जल्दी से इसको. Draw this. देखो यहाँ पे. So here you have 0.01 and this is 0.02. 0.02. Choda Nagpur Plateau area. This is Madhya Bharat Pathar. 0.01. 0.02. Another is here. 0.01. 0.02. Maybe this is your 0.03. Here you have 0.03. Krishna Godavari Delta. And there also a line will be running here 0.03. 0.03. This is 0.02. 0.02. Now 0.01 and 0.2. 1, 2, there are 3 pockets. Safe havens. No severity of the earthquake in these 3 pockets. Have this chart, have this map, and look. If you present your answer with such maps and such analysis taken from the geological survey maps, you will be scoring really high. Do this. Once it is done, kindly inform me, let me know, or लिख करके बताओ कि yes, done. Then I will move to the second map and second discussion point. Thank you, Pratik Gupta, for recognizing that. Pratik Gupta is writing, your classes are answer writing practice in itself. Let's all the people realize this. I'm using your class notes in my answers and scoring quite well in test series. Yeah, people have been doing in my profession a lot of drama, creating some set of questions and creating answers on it, but out of curiosity I generally ask some book seller कि भाई मुझे भी provide करवाओ, देखें बाकी लोग क्या कर रहे हैं. नितेश पांडे. Delhi comes in zone 4. Yes, correct. You got it right. Northern Rajasthan, Haryana, they all come in zone. Which all places are falling in which all zone? I mean, you can easily make out with this map. Now, since most of you have copied it down, now to the second map. To the second map. Try to draw your map as fast as you can, because that will save your time. There's no point drawing an excellent map. because if it takes 1 or 2 minutes, then in paper 2 you have to draw nearly 15-20 maps, and in that case 30 to 40 minutes will be lost in map drawing itself. Then what you will write? So it is better to draw an inferior map but a real quick map. Okay, now in this map I am pointing out certain places now. Guess this is which zone? This is zone 5. This is zone 5. Now these dotted areas, zone 4. Here also you have, this is also zone 5. ये भी zone 5 ही है. Okay, this is zone 4. Now you have to draw zone 1 and surrounding it your zone 2. So this other reason, they automatically become zone 3. So this is your zone 3. This is zone 2. Zone 2 क्या है? And zone 1 is, इस मैप को भी यूज करो. This map is showing the correct earthquake zones. Okay, then write the major fault line. Wait. Let's have some description of the zones. So please write zone 5. Write zone 5. This Lakshadweep will come under zone 3. So write zone 5. These are the lines. लिखो zone 5, it includes Kashmir Valley, which is located in MCT, Main Central Thrust. The Kinnaur-Kumayu region, Kinnaur-Kumayu region, and third is the North Bihar which is located on Darbhanga fault line. Okay, then you have the Assam plains and the Purvanchal hills, the Sikkim Arunachal belt, Andaman and Nicobar islands. Then these regions represent the zone of plate collision, the zone of plate collision. They are located on active plate boundaries. The Indian plate is colliding and subducting below Eurasia. Which create rupturing of the plates. Rupturing of the plates. And elastic rebound of the shattering rocks. Elastic rebound of the shattering rocks. This is very important line. Now write how much Richter scale or Mercalli scale will be read here in zone 5. You have presented it through a chart. So you can write Richter scale, possible Richter scale is more than 8 or 7 to 8 will be the zone 4, likewise. Okay, now write zone 4 is the adjacent areas to zone 5, mainly the Trans-Himalayan region, the northern plains of India, Trans-Himalayan region, the northern plains of India, Lego, since the northern plains are located on a trench wedge which was formed over which was formed between the Indian and Eurasian plate. Below the trench, there is significant movement, or rather there are sudden movements, not significant, there are sudden movements of the Indian plate, causing adjustments in the sedimentary covers. When the plate is moving below the trench and trench is filled up with the sediments, so with the movement of the plate, the sediments will be, adjusting to new equilibrium, and in that case there will be some shaking of the plains and earthquakes can be found. But these earthquakes are not so dangerous, right? It is 7 and 7.5, quite dangerous. Gangetic plains are prone to to some massive earthquakes. 7.5 is massive. It can cause death, fear, havoc. Okay, so this is zone 4. Now zone 3, transitional zone between the high intensity earthquake and the low intensity earthquake. High intensity and low intensity earthquakes. It is located between the stable cratonic shields of the peninsula and the cratonic shields of the peninsula and the trench and the northern trench. So here you have Richter scale, Mercalli scale, mention them. Okay, next, another fact, zone 2 and 1, zone 2 plus 1 has been clubbed into one group. So zone 2 plus 1. This zone is largely tectonically stable. And Richter scale, maximum Richter scale could be 4 to 5, which is non-devastating earthquake. They consist of the Madhya Bharat Pathar, the central Indian plateau, the Eastern Plateau, the Southern Archean Shield Plateau, the Southern Archean Shield, likho, these shields are deeply rooted in the mantle. Hence, there is no possibility of shallow or medium focus earthquakes. But some of the areas of these plateaus have fault lines. For example, the Koyna earthquake, Koyna fault line hai, the Narmada Tapi fault line, the Allah Band fault line which is in Kutch, Allah Band fault line which is in Kutch. Now you deserve a map showing the fault lines of India. छोटा मैप ही होना चाहिए. Okay, so the fault lines to be shown. This is your MCT, main central thrust, and this is your Naga fault, and this is your Malda fault, and here you have this Darbhanga fault, DF is Darbhanga fault. Darbhanga is a district in Bihar. Darbhanga fault, DF. This is your MBF, and then you have such dotted line which will be called HFF line, Himalayan frontal fault. So MCT, MBF, HFF, Darbhanga fault here, Malda fault here, this is your Naga fault. Now this is your Andaman fault. Now this is your K is Koyna fault. यहाँ पे कोयना फॉल्ट है. Now this is your, ये एरिया तो कच्छ का है. So this is your Allah Band fault. इसको Allah Band fault कहते हैं. When an earthquake hit Bhuj, the sea waves were encroaching the coast and some of the villages were to be drawn, but suddenly the land was raised there and the waves hit that raised areas and came back, reversed back. So people living in this area, they called it that God has created this bund. Actually, it was created by the earthquake wave itself. Earthquakes have oscillatory motion. So crust will be upfolded and downfolded. But people thought it's God's act. Okay, they have every reason to think like that, because this is your Narmada. रुको, कोयना थोड़ा नीचे करना पड़ेगा. This is Koyna fault, and this is your Tapi This is NS fault. NS fault meaning Narmada Son fault. This is your GBF. This is called GBF, Great Boundary Fault. इसको लिखना, ये अरावली और विंध्य के पैरेलल है. This is Great Boundary Fault. This is your Damodar fault, DF, and this is your KG fault. KG fault. KG fault meaning Krishna Godavari fault. This is your Kaveri fault. KF, Kaveri fault. So likewise you can draw the fault lines of India. So all these fault lines will also become prone to earthquake. So earthquakes can occur in Krishna Godavari valley and even Kaveri valley. Dekho, when the Indian plate is going to hit, understand, say if I have cracks in my bone, अब इस bone में crack है and I am going to hit a wall, so these cracks will develop. These cracks will have crumbling of the rocks and movement, more compression there, more movement of the rock there, dislocation of the rock there. So that may cause earthquakes even otherwise non-earthquake prone areas. These are non-earthquake prone areas, but because of the presence of the fault lines, you can have some earthquakes to the Richter scale 7 or 7.5 or 6.5. So these regions are prone to earthquake. So there is a fault line map of India. Fault line map. अब बताओ नंबर कैसे नहीं आएगा? Marks must pour in from all where. So while you are drawing it, I have listed some of the methods by which we can predict the earthquake. Predictions of earthquake can be by several methods, several techniques. One of them is hydrochemical precursors. Hydrochemical precursors में you can write 1 or 2 lines that concentration level of dissolved mineral and gaseous component dissolved minerals and gaseous component, they remain constant during no earthquake. But before the earthquake, the dissolved minerals and the gaseous component which are found in underground water, they show certain degree of increase. They show certain degree of increase, meaning the underground water's chemical composition is affected before the seismic event. Then you have animal behavior. ये तो the birds are flying and कुत्ता का smell power, ये सब पढ़ लेना कहीं से. Radon gas, before the hitting of the coming of the earthquakes, radon gas is released from the rocks of that area. तो radon gas भी निकलता है. radon gas का concentration 0.03% तक increase कर जाएगा. Temperature changes. It has been found that because of the compression and the motion which will be generated, the temperature of the rocks will increase by 5 to 10 degrees centigrades. So when the temperature increase is found in the rocks, seismic gap. Now seismic gap is interesting. तो लिखो seismic gap. Seismic gap. Look, the concept of seismic gap was given by a Russian scientist named Fedotov. Fedotov. He was a Russian scientist who discovered the idea of seismic gap. He studied the epicenters of earthquake in Japan from 1903 to 1964. To 1964. He professed that between two massive earthquakes, between the epicenters of two massive earthquakes, EI and EJ, the otherwise stable land mass which seems to be in equilibrium, is likely to experience the next earthquake this equilibrium mass which lies between two epicenters of the most recent earthquakes. Is called the seismic gap. न्यू प्रोबेबल एपिसेंटर मैंने यहाँ इसको दिखाया है. इसको ड्रॉ करो. Now write, based on this concept, 3 seismic gaps have been identified. 3 seismic gaps have been identified in India. A, Kinnaur-Kumayu gap, Central gap in Nepal. This is in Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. Third is the Assam gap. I mean, there's no need for drawing 3 diagrams here, but we feel like, so these are the seismic gaps. This came in 1905 and this came in 1931. So we are expecting here, this is the probable zone. This will be the new epicenter. Probable ही लिखो. Probable epicenter will be, this is a seismic gap. Kinnaur and Kumayu is located in Himachal and Uttarakhand. ये 1905, 1934, ये 1970 है यार, ये 1970, 71 या 74 है शायद. 1905 to 1974, 74, 75 होगा कुछ. I mean, these are the dates when the earthquake actually hit this 75. So once earthquake is struck here, and this were the epicenter, this was our EI and EJ, and this is the seismic gap. We are expecting now that another earthquake will strike here. Similarly, we are expecting another strike here in the central gap, or the Nepal mein this is found, and another earthquake is expected here, because once it has struck in western Assam, seismic gaps in India. Okay, there are many more methods for prediction, like the oil, gas, the water level. वाटर लेवल रिजर्वायर में चेंज करने लगता है. दैट्स इट. बस कल I will take up again earthquake for 5-7 minutes, and I will let you know that how the questions will be asked, and even a seismic gap can have a full question, then how to write on it. Because on a seismic gap, if you demand from today's class, I have given you only few lines. But if at all it is asked, then you can actually write some 200 words, and very beautifully crafted 200 words. Who gave the idea, from where came the idea, then few diagrams. Then you can discuss the 3, and we can give the details of it. So there is again you can talk about plate tectonics here. Same, but here you can talk about the fault lines, the causes of the earthquakes. Then you can talk about the magnitude of the earthquakes at 3 places, the Richter scale which is possible, Mercalli scale which is possible, draw an India map and showing these regions. You can draw the isolines, horizontal seismic coefficient isolines, and show on the India map. So you need to have the ability, develop that ability within yourself to write good answers. Questions these days are never asked from the main topic. Questions are not thematic. Questions are more factual and more subtopical in nature. So you have to be smarter with time to deal with civil services. Thank you for the day. Good night. Take care.